Brigsten will join us from his Riverbend restaurant. Yeah, you right. Fantasy Friday edition of the program, 5 o'clock power hour. You know we're going to go to the Riverbend and visit with Frank Brigsten around 5:20. Then around 5:35, right after Frank finishes up telling us about hopefully some crawfish dishes on the menu. Keeping my fingers crossed on that one. I'm greedy, I'm telling you. Michael Hecht's going to join us around 5:35 from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Thank goodness the city council. I mean, the fact that they're still voting on this stuff is nauseating. Thank goodness the city council approved this Top Golf project down at the River District. This new neighborhood going up. It's going to be like $1 billion of investment over the next decade. Should already be a few years into construction, literally. It was announced like north of 3 years ago. Still not a piling in the ground. Top Golf's supposed to start driving pilings. They want to get going by next year. So that's good news. That's about a $50 million project. The Shell building, another one. The new Shell headquarters in New Orleans. Anyway, Michael Hecht will join us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. We'll discuss that and a lot more. Coming up in just a few minutes, another edition of Fridays with Fletch. You don't ask for him. You tell us to not have him on, so we're following your wishes. Coming up in a few minutes, Fridays with Fletch. We tried to get Travers, but he wasn't available. Actually, that's not true. We love Fridays with Fletch. Hopefully, we'll talk about his electric bicycle and his old diesel Mercedes. Hey, the LSU athletic director, Scott Woodward, releasing a message responding to Governor Landry's concern over athletes not attending the national anthem before games. It's sort of classic. Like, I got to give him credit. It sort of is the perfect response because it says a lot of nothing. We have reviewed Governor Landry's letter on the national anthem. At LSU, we have and will always be dedicated to the flag, the anthem, and the country. We consistently look at all our processes, and we'll do so again. As Louisiana's flagship university, LSU always strives to represent the higher ideals and values of our students, our state, and our country. And just basically, Scott Woodward's like, really, Governor? Really? You had to bring up this? Do you know that they're never out there? You went to another game. Did you miss it? Did someone bring it up? Is this one of your poop stir people? Is this something that's supposed to get national traction? Is this one of those you don't have to do anything, but you say something and your base just jumps out of their seats, foaming at the mouth, wishing they could vote for you tomorrow? Is it one of those kind of things? I know it was a ready, fire, aim. I can tell you that. Ready, fire, aim. The late, great Jim Finks, the great general manager of the Saints in the late 80s, early 90s, that finally brought pride to that team. That's what he said about Mike Ditka. Ready, fire, aim. No, and that's Governor Landry when he doesn't have consultants and advisors and time to think it through. You can't just have that reactionary type thing, because his from the gut reactionary type thing is crazy. Anyway, Scott Woodward just sort of, it is the biggest roll of the eyes. We've reviewed Governor Landry's letter on the national anthem. Nothing about we're going to implement this, we're changing our policy, none of that. At LSU, we have and will always be dedicated to the flag, the anthem, and the country. Just to have to say that is so silly. At LSU, most of the time we care about the flag, the anthem some of the time, and the country, we kind of forget about it because we drink a lot. We consistently look at all our processes, and we'll do so again. And it's just not saying anything. I'm not dogging Scott Woodward. It's a great reply, in my opinion. He just says a bunch of nonsense because that's what the governor said, a bunch of nonsense. And Scott Woodward's giving it right back. No, and now you put coaches and players on the spot. Are you patriotic or not? And all this goofy, stupid stuff. It's pointless. Oh, you got to sing the anthem. Oh, you got to have your hand on your heart. Oh, you lose your scholarship. Coming right back, Fridays with Fletch. Wow. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
You know, Helm Paint and Supplies now in Baton Rouge. 4 Baton Rouge area locations. Free 2-hour delivery of those Benjamin Moore goodies. That means West Baton Rouge, like Bruley, Port Allen. That means East Baton Rouge, Prairieville, even to Gonzales. Free 2-hour delivery for Metro Baton Rouge. Helm Paint and Decorating locations. Yeah, when you got to paint in Metro New Orleans for over 55 years. And now when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating. Speaking of 55 years, I'm guessing that's about his age. It's another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Fletcher Mackel joins us on the program. I guess 55. What's up, Fletch?
Corey, what's up? Just a little off, but all good.
57?
You're getting warmer. Yep, that's it.
I know you're like 47, right?
Yeah, something like that's a little closer, yeah.
Or if you were Eric Paulson, you could play the little girly game and not answer.
So I don't know if I need to not answer, but I will tell you I am in my late 40s.
Eric Paulson does not like the age question.
Well, I mean, I saw where he's been. You know, Margaret Orr just retired after 45 years. I saw where Eric just celebrated 47, which means he started in 77. So yeah, you can kind of do the math yourself.
Yep.
You know, he didn't start as a teenager, FYI.
Fletch, you know what I always say? Age is just a number, and 50 is the new 40. I never say any of that.
With you. I kind of like that approach.
Yeah, I don't say any of that, though. I just live it.
You live it. Good call.
Yep. I don't listen to Jimi Hendrix. I hear Jimmy.
Ooh. Very, very deep. Very deep there. I like.
You don't know what that reference is from?
I don't listen to Jimmy, or I don't listen to Jimmy. I hear it.
Yeah. White men can't jump. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right when he's talking about. You're right. White men can't jump. I think was its 30th year? Did it just turn 30? I believe.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, Woody Harrelson, man, he's been going at it for like 35 years.
Oh my God, Woody Harrelson is so underappreciated. Like, I love Woody Harrelson from Cheers to. I mean, when you think of it, like it's like literally the guy's done everything. He's done like cop movies, TV shows, serious comedy. I mean, literally, he's kind of like John Goodman to me. So like John Goodman is like an acting treasure who's been in everything, who's worked with everyone. Woody Harrelson kind of falls into that category. Like, even though I don't think Woody Harrelson's ever won an Academy Award or maybe even been nominated, I don't know if John Goodman's ever been nominated, but when you look at their body of work, you go, this is just insanely impressive stuff.
You want to know when I was like, boy, Goodman can do physical stuff too. When he got shot in Everybody's All-American and fell into the trophy case, I'm like, he looked like he got shot and fell into the trophy case. I was like, damn.
Yeah, look, I think Everybody's All-American, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Goodman was here before then, but I know John Goodman's been here for like 40 years. He's from St. Louis.
Yep.
But obviously he's married a woman from Bogalusa, and he's raised his family here, and he lives here full time when he's not working. So,
yep.
But I want to say, I think Everybody's All-American was like late 80s.
Yeah. I was at LSU when they were filming. We'd be at the games when they were doing it. So, yeah, it was like 86, 87, 88, something like that.
So I want to say that may have been the movie that brought him full-time to Louisiana, but I'm not like the John Goodman biographer, but I do love his work, and look, John Goodman, I always tell him this when I see him. The Big Lebowski is my favorite all-time movie, and he's done a lot of Coen Brothers movie going back to Raising Arizona.
Yep.
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? And so, but The Big Lebowski is my favorite movie, and I always jokingly tell him that I'm not alone in loving that movie, which I loved from the start, but it has become like more of a cult favorite amongst people who are a little younger than me.
I like history, so I like Monuments Men, but a lot of people didn't. He was really good in that. He's good in all kind of stuff. Goodman's.
That's what I mean. He's never not good. Yeah.
Yep.
Clooney directed Monuments Men,
yep.
And it was based on a true story or inspired by a true story.
Yep.
So, like I said, look, he was great in Argo. Ben Affleck directed Argo. Argo was fascinating.
Yeah. He was really good in that.
He was good in that.
Yep. And Woody Harrelson, what was it? No Country for, what's that movie? No Country for, not Old Men. What is it?
No Country for Old Men. That was.
Wasn't Woody Harrelson in that? Is like a little cameo where he was searching for the money in that.
Not sure. I mean, Josh Brolin, Javier Bardem. That was Coen Brothers too.
Yeah. What didn't Woody Harrelson have a little cameo in that?
You know what? I'm not even. I hate.
He was like the cowboy in that. You remember where your boy shot him with the rifle? Not the rifle. The he either shot him with the rifle or whatever. The stun gun to kill cattle.
Sort of stuff. Yeah.
Do you walk around with a stun gun to kill cattle that you can take on the go with you, Fletch, or not really?
Yeah. No.
Yes.
I do not.
Yes. If you see Fletch on his electric bike, he probably has the cattle stun gun that you can take on the go from No Country for Old Men or whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right. Ready to move on. You eat anything good lately?
I went to Paladar last night.
Oh, how was it?
It was great. So
what'd you get?
I got just a pasta dish. I went with couple of friends, and I got like a little pasta action.
Nice.
Pizza is an app. We had some nice wine. It was good. It was kind of casual, laid back. The place is always packed. I mean, they kill it. They do great.
Yeah.
It was ambiance is always cool. So yeah, it was good.
You have friends?
You know what? Acquaintances. I don't know if they would consider me a friend, but they're close enough to call acquaintances, so we'll go with that.
You want to know where I've gone lately? Because first off, I like artichokes, and there's like a seasonal artichoke that's in its prime right now called an heirloom, and we don't seem to get those anymore. Artichoke growers grow this crappy globe artichoke that's like a softball, but Houston's on St. Charles Avenue gets the heirloom artichokes, and they grill them. As my mom would say, you have to float a bond to pay the bill, but they're really good. They're a little pricey, but they're really good. So I've been going to Houston's lately. Always consistent, old Houston's.
Yeah, look, I'll say this. I go there still quite a bit. That one of my bosses at WDSU really likes it. So
yeah, it's really close for you guys.
Yeah, it's close to us. It's always solid. It's great for lunch. It's great for dinner. It's great for working. I mean, it's great, period, but it's really good for working endeavors. Like if you need a working lunch or a meeting lunch from where we are at 846 Howard.
No. Plus going west from where you are to Houston's is 2 minutes. Going east, it takes 2 minutes to go a block. You know, it's much harder to go downtown towards the quarter from where you guys are. Yeah, I would imagine you guys hit Houston's all the time. Yeah, I've been getting the artichoke, and after that, it's just, who knows? Am I going to get something that's priced sort of normal or something where I have to slice off an arm? Houston's is pricey. It can be. If you're not careful, you can run up an absurd bill at Houston's, Fletch.
Yeah, I'll say this. I wouldn't know that. I apologize. And I go, it's normally professional stuff. So I'm usually kept in check. Obviously, I'm not like that. I'm a huge drinker anyway, but usually the last half dozen times I've been, it's work related stuff. And so my bills are normally, but I believe you. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, no, God, if you get like ribs or something, then they got good Allen Brothers steaks over there. Anyway, whatever. You ready to jump into this thing called sports?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's start with some oddball outside the local area stuff, just because I know you have angles and takes and all that.
All right.
The Oakland A's to Sacramento is just so goofy and ridiculous. It really is. Like, you can't. First off, I mean, you can't bang out a deal in Oakland for the next 3 years. Second, they average like, 6,000 a game. It's a joke. Do you want to even be in Oakland? To have the move announced, the other place isn't anywhere near ready. Just, I can go on and on and on. Just this whole thing's a mess. And it just goes to show you the way pro sports has treated the city of Oakland is sinful, is terrible. Just using them. It's pathetic. Now, some of it you can blame Oakland on, but some of it's just rude and classless with the pro sports and the money. Take it away.
Yeah, so I would say that I don't know if there's anybody that needs to be portrayed as a victim in this situation. I would say that there's a lot of villains in it. And look, this whole situation goes to show how unhealthy baseball is. Major League Baseball has major issues. There was a time and place, and you and I have talked about this on your show, when Major League Baseball was the king of kings. I mean, you go back 25 years, 30 years to the 90s, baseball was number one revenue producer, number one TV producer. Now, football is the king of kings, destroying everybody else. Basketball is next, NBA. And baseball is barely above hockey now. I mean, MLS is still, fifth, but hockey is on par now with Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball has major issues. Not like it's ever going away, but it will never. And the crazy thing is they have the potential to have worldwide growth like the NBA.
Oh, no, you're right. Even maybe more so. Fletch, hold that thought. I'm going to knock out a quick break. We're going to come right back. More Fridays with Fletch.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Corey Johnson with you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Might have a little rain coming in on Wednesday, which is a good thing. That's a cool front. We could have high 50s to start the day, mid 70s as the highest temperature. For next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, French Quarter Festival. That means you might be running heat, you might be running air conditioning, might not be running the system at all. If you ever need air conditioning or heat help, River City's Total Maintenance is there. Just think NOLAAC.com. That's all you need to know. If you need air conditioning or heat help, NOLAAC.com. Fletch, that commercial break cut you off. We were talking about the Oakland A's. They're moving to Las Vegas. They're tearing down the Tropicana. They're building them $1 billion stadium. It's going to seat 30,000. I mean, what's the Buffalo minor league stadium seat? Like 20-something thousand. And in the meantime, for maybe the next 3 seasons, Major League Baseball's Oakland A's are going to play at Sacramento's minor league baseball park, about 80 miles away. That is crazy.
Yeah, it was like, look, they're moving to Vegas, but the stadium in Vegas won't be ready for 3 years. They're still working on funding and location and logistics because Vegas has just been booming. I mean, the mayor said they didn't want them on the Strip, and the A's owners want to be on the Strip.
Yeah, they're going where the Tropicana is. They're tearing down the Tropicana and building there.
So here's what I would say before we got cut off is Major League Baseball has major issues, like major issues. Not like Major League Baseball is never going away. It's an American pastime and institution, and they're fine. But from the time 2 to 3 decades ago when Major League Baseball was a ratings winner, money winner, I mean, just look at it like this. And you talked about this on your show with me. The Phoenix Suns sold for $4 billion last year. The Baltimore Orioles sold for $1.9 billion. I mean, the franchises are half the value of NBA, and the money's not the same because Major League Baseball can't get out of its own way. It just major issues from the speed of the game to the salary cap structure to how the league works. It's just archaic and it can't get out of its own way. Then the other thing I would say is this. Is the city of Oakland is becoming the poster child for how not to handle pro sports. Now, have they done everything wrong? Absolutely not. But they are inflexible when it comes. They were inflexible with dealing with the Raiders. And look, Mark Davis is a bad owner. They were inflexible in dealing with the Warriors. In their owner's really good, Lacob. And they have been inflexible in dealing with the A's, another bad owner. What the city of Oakland doesn't seem to understand or is late to the game, and again, I argue this with people all the time, pro sports are a public-private endeavor. And there's a lot of people out there who say billionaires don't need the charity. Billionaires don't need the city's. Yeah, they do. And again, whether they need it or not, they're going to get it. Vegas built Mark Davis $1 billion stadium that they paid 80% for. I mean, whenever teams move, New Orleans, we got an NBA team again because we built an arena and Charlotte wouldn't build one for the Hornets. Then guess what? They lost that team, and then their taxpayers automatically said, we'll build an arena, and the NBA was nice enough to give them an expansion team. I get it. People hate it. I understand. But you can hate it. It's just the way it works in pro sports, that it's public-private, and there's going to be need. There's give and take on both sides. And Oakland has been very inflexible with stadium upgrades, commitments to facilities, and therefore that's why they have lost all three of their major professional franchises. And it's terrible because Oakland is a great market that supported the heck out of those teams, all of them. And I would have loved to have seen them stay. And I'm not saying that their owners couldn't have done more, but when I say there's nobody here that's a victim, their city leadership could have done more as well, too.
No, I would agree with that. And I think when the NBA leaves white-collar Vancouver, major pro sports leagues are going to leave blue-collar Oakland in a second. It's just how it is.
Keep going a little bit, if I could. Like, look, Seattle, I remember doing stories up there. Some of the places that lean a little bit more liberal, don't want to give, private companies and owners a lot of money. Seattle almost lost the Mariners and the Seahawks. People forget that it took them 7 tries to pass taxpayer money to get those stadiums built for the Seahawks and the Mariners. And they were almost gone. And then they did it. And then they couldn't get money for the Sonics. And then the Sonics ended up leaving. Portland is more than big enough to have 2 teams, and they don't because their voters won't build a baseball stadium or a football stadium. In St. Louis, their Kroenke could have done more to stay there and not go back to L.A., but St. Louis, over and over and over again, refused to step up more to commit to a stadium. San Diego, 16 straight years, they voted to try to get them a new stadium, and they couldn't get it done. So, again, people don't like it, but it's the way of the world. Minnesota has the best stadium in the NFL. Ziggy Wilf got the city of Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota to pay for 70% of it because he threatened to leave. I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying I condone it. I tell people all the time, it's just how it works and how it's going to be, and you have to understand that. And if you don't want to play that game, you're probably going to end up on the losing end like Oakland.
No, and your friend saying the billionaires don't need has nothing to do with need. It's another edition of Fridays with Fletch. It's what you can get. All right, you ready to suspend disbelief for a little while?
Sure.
All right, I mean, I know it's not happening, but I don't even think the door's cracked. Let's just say the door's unlocked for a moment, and will probably be relocked quickly. Kansas City, they have referendums all the time on Arrowhead. You know their deal on I-70. You got Arrowhead right next to Kaufman. The original plans, I don't know if you've ever seen this. They're supposed to be, I call it like a big coffee table. A huge roof structure that was just going to sit out in the parking lot, Fletch. And then if rain was going to come into the area, they could roll it over Arrowhead or Kaufman. I'm not kidding you. Anyway, you can Google it and look it up. It's pretty interesting. I think the guy Stegman was the longtime Kansas City guy that was behind all this. They had a referendum. A was to upgrade Arrowhead a decade ago. They approved that. B was to build that roof thing that was originally planned in the early 70s, 50 years ago. Voters said no to that. The NFL said no to a Super Bowl. The roof thing was part of a Super Bowl going to Kansas City. They've had another referendum to upgrade Arrowhead yet again. Arrowhead's kind of like the Dome. Built in 72, the Dome opened in 75. Arrowhead's pretty versatile. They've upgraded it. They've kept it pretty state-of-the-art over the years. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, voters didn't pass a referendum to upgrade it. The Dallas mayor is saying, hey, Chiefs can come to Dallas. We can take 2 teams. Dallas just surpassed 8 million people in the Metroplex. 8 million. Chicago's about 8.9. In about the next 5-6 years, Fletch, Dallas will be the 3rd largest metropolitan area, surpassing Chicago. Dallas could support another NFL franchise. Dallas could support another NBA franchise. Dallas could support another Major League Baseball franchise. What do you say?
I think you're right. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. Suspend disbelief, like you said.
Yep.
I mean, it would take a lot to get those teams out of Kansas City. Look, the Kansas City Chiefs actually started in Dallas. If you go back and look at their history.
Yeah, that's what the mayor was saying. We're bringing the Chiefs home.
Right. It was one of those things that Lamar Hunt moved his team from Dallas to Kansas City. And I think they were like the Dallas Texans, and then it became the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's right.
But look, the Hunt family is ingrained in there for like longer than a generation. They're good corporate partners. I forgot the owner of the Royals, but same thing. I would call it more of a setback than some type of pack up the cars and we're headed out.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. They do need, and that gets back to my corporate private ownership working with the city. The thing that's astonishing to me is the Chiefs just won the Super Bowl. If you were ever going to get like a referendum passed,
exactly,
now is the time.
Mahomes,
to get it done and get something built. Do I think something will eventually get done, even if it's not quite as grand in scale?
Yeah.
Do I think the Royals and Chiefs are ever leaving Kansas City? No. Now but it gets back to this. I would have told you 15 years ago that the Chargers were probably never leaving San Diego. But after 16 years of the Spanos family putting it to a vote to get a new stadium, they finally said enough is enough, and they moved. In Oakland as well. I mean, the Warriors' Oracle wasn't the worst arena, but with all the money in San Francisco and the corporate money, and their owners got the land there for free, I believe, it was, okay, we need something. If in 3 years, the voters in that area are still reluctant to compromise in some way, well, then, maybe you start to hear some chirping about, oh, this team could move or that team could move, or like, but you're right. Dallas is big enough. Look, Chicago already has 2 baseball teams.
Exactly.
New York has 2 baseball, 2 football, 2 hockey, 2 basketball. I mean, you're right. Dallas and Chicago could easily handle another team. It does become, though, would those owners want to do that? And I think those owners are very committed with roots woven deep into the fabric of those communities, that we would be years and years and years away from that happening.
What's New York's got 3 NHL, right? I think 3.
Yeah. Island, if you count the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah. Devils, Long Island, Rangers. No, it's ridiculous.
Right across New Jersey.
But I think Dallas is clearly saying we're ready to be a 2-sport market.
The Lamar
coming right back.
Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamar Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you. It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Absolutely gorgeous weather. Lebanon's Cafe is open right now. They roll till 9:30. Outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe under the big green awning, under the oak trees, right on the streetcar line. Doesn't get much better than that. Shish kebab, lamb chops, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. And enjoy this great weather. Dine outside at Lebanon's Cafe. It's another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Fletcher Mackle is with us. Are you taking the electric bike out today?
You know what? I had some errands I had to run, so probably tomorrow will be an electric bike day.
Awesome, man. That's great. There goes Fletch with that dorky helmet he's got. What's up with the dorky helmet? It looks like an old football helmet with no face mask.
I mean, it was just, the helmet I ordered online. It was just kind of a fun color. I don't know if bike helmets look cool. I don't know.
I think you were trying to be trendy instead of just getting the regular bike helmet. What do you say to that?
I feel like it is a regular bike helmet, but whatever.
All right. Angel Reese, adios, huh, Fletch?
Yep. At WNBA, I mean, she's right. What more can she do? She's won a national championship. She's been an All-American, SEC Player of the Year. She's graduated. She's built her brand where she's got major endorsement deals. I mean, I'm sure LSU could have gotten her some more NIL or money through their collective, but she's going to be fine in the WNBA. And at some point you got to go. So why not go now?
Am I out of my mind when I say another year might have just exposed her weaknesses and she would have fallen in the NBA draft, WNBA draft?
Yeah, I'd say that's off base. I don't know if she's going to expand her game. I think she is what she is. She's what is she at a WNBA level when everybody's her size? Yeah, no, you're right. And let me say this. She's going to be an undersized kind of power forward. And but look, she's undersized in a lot of games that she plays now against players that are bigger, and she still holds her own. She gets to the line. I don't want to use a term like Charles Barkley-esque or Dennis Rodman-esque, but she's one of these people that's had to go up against much bigger players and has still found a way to grind it out and get her putbacks and get to the line and grab rebounds. That's why I say I don't think she would have been exposed, because she wasn't exposed from last year to this year. But I think her ceiling is where it is in college.
Yeah.
She's not going to all of a sudden expand her game out to the 3-point line.
That's exactly right. I'm just, I guess it's a question if she'll be a star or not in the WNBA. Is that safe to say?
Sure. I don't know if she's going to be quite the player when there's more size on every team in the WNBA. I think she'll be a starter or a top reserve player, and she'll be good. And who knows? Maybe she will become something special. But yeah, I think she's going to be a good WNBA player. I don't know if she's going to be the same type of player that she's been at LSU in the WNBA, because night in and night out, she's going to be a little undersized.
Why did Van Lith enter the transfer portal?
I think it's because it was such a awkward fit this year. Credit to her. You know, she was the quote unquote kind of Caitlin Clark or Paige Beckers of her team at Louisville. She was the fulcrum of everything they did at Louisville. Well, that's one of the reasons I don't think LSU was able to get past Caitlin Clark. They got a lot of great players, but Kim Mulkey couldn't bring it all together and get the best out of everybody to make each other better. So she was a little bit miscast. And I think she realizes, hey, look, I've got this fifth year because of COVID. She actually hurt her WNBA draft position this year coming to LSU. She can regain her WNBA draft position by going to a place where she can kind of fall back into that alpha role and probably get 17 shots a night as opposed to 9 and maybe help herself out. And really, her loyalty wasn't to LSU. She did 3 years at Louisville. She graduated. So, it's mercenary-like, but it's what college sports is. So, and look, they all hugged. They gave it a chance. It didn't work out. They seem to be parting ways on amicable terms.
The Pels are 3-game losing streak? About 10 days ago, they were the 4 seed. Now they're the 7 seed?
Yeah, 8 days ago, they were the 4 seed. And now they've lost 3 straight 4 or 5, and they're back in the play-in. And they need to win some games here. I mean, they're too good to be a play-in team, and this will be a massive letdown if they go out in the play-in.
4 would have been nice. That would have been gravy lanyap. It had to remain 5 or 6, coupled with, forget about the play-in or not, you're not playing the 1 or 2 when you're 4, 5, or 6. You're playing the 3 or the 4. It's just falling back into the play-in is sickening.
Yeah, and look, the play-in's grueling. I mean, they may have to play Sunday, then the play-in, you'd have to play potentially Tuesday, Thursday, and then travel to go play the playoffs on Saturday when a team's been resting and waiting a week for you. So, again, the play-in's grueling. Last year was the first time we saw teams come through the play-in, and they were both kind of flukish and got exposed late in the playoffs, the Lakers and the Heat. So it can happen, but I don't know if this team can do it.
Got to beat the Spurs tonight, right? I mean, my God.
Yeah. I mean, look, Wembanyama is going to be Rookie of the Year, and he's going to be great eventually. But that team's got 18 wins. They're 18-59.
Yep.
If you don't beat this team tonight, you may be going out in the first play-in game. I mean, if you don't win tonight, it's a real bad loss.
What's the cause of the last 10 days, 8 days?
So I think just running into better teams. I think that the lack of everything that we thought was wrong with the Pelicans, we've seen it. That when they go small, it doesn't work. That Jonas gets played off the court defensively. Their bench has been terrible. Jose Alvarado's been out. Trey Murphy's been fine as a starter, but he was one of their key cogs off the bench. So the bench has been terrible, and the teams they've played have been bad.
What the what's fast? Fletch, I think, is out of there. Fletcher, always a pleasure. Hey, Fletch, thank you.
All right.
That's Fletcher Mackel, WDSU Channel 6. That's Blue Boy saying the 5 o'clock power hour is next. Don't move, New Orleans.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your color so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemiel.
Oh, no.
Incorporated.
It's Laverne and Shirley reruns on a Friday. That's right, New Orleans, because Corey's lazy and wants to go home and drink. The Nutrigram with Corey Johnson has been canceled. Instead, 2 30-minute Laverne and Shirley reruns from 45 years ago. How lame is that? Coming your way next, it's Laverne and Shirley. All right, we're not going to do that to you. Not going to do that to you. No Laverne and Shirley. Although I do have a sweater with a big L on the chest. There he is, Mr. Drew Brees, number 9. This is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program, coupled with the fact that it's the 5 o'clock power hour. Yeah, you right. I love recognizing this very time of the week. A little bit after 5 o'clock, 100% of the work week in the books for most of us. A little after 5 o'clock, just a little, meaning the whole weekend is in front of you. Yeah, you right. Celebrate it. We do it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. We do it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. The 5 o'clock whistle, appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? You going to the Pels game at the Smoothie King Center? Awesome. You're not going to the Pels game at the Smoothie King Center, but would like to check it out with some friends, some fans, a good crowd? Flat screen TVs all over Katie's in Mid-City. And unlike some sports bar with terrible food, the diametric opposite at Katie's. A taste of New Orleans, big portions from pizzas to po' boys, seafood platters, seafood dishes, fantastic Creole Italian cuisine, New Orleans food at Katie's. Did I mention big portions, great for sharing? I think I did. Katie's in Mid-City, flat screen TVs, outdoor dining. Tough to beat Katie's in Mid-City. 5 o'clock whistle on a Friday. Appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. What's that, Corporal? In military terms, that would be called a non-event? Wow. You're saying no one missed anything because of Fletcher Mackle? Geez and Pete's, that's harsh. The Corporal at the controls. He says you didn't miss a thing in the 4 o'clock hour Fridays with Fletch. That's brutal. What's that, Corporal? We should have stuck with Travers and not got Fletcher on. Wow. The critiques going on. We love Fletch over here. The Corporal didn't say any of that. I just threw him in the fire with a gasoline suit on. 766-9480. The Corporal's fielding your phone calls right now. Salute, please. No, you did miss Fridays with Fletch in the 4 o'clock hour. We talked about his electric bike. Coming up in about 10 minutes, Frank Brigtsen's going to join us from the Riverbend, Dante Street. His restaurant, 38 years, Brigtsen's. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I mean, I'm not kidding you. My night is like based off of what Frank says. If he's like, we got crawfish at Touffet, I'm ordering 2 appetizers of that for my dinner entree. You think I'm kidding? If he's like, we got crawfish and corn soup, I'm going to have to order like a quart of that. It's that good. Frank Brigtsen's going to join us in a few minutes, as he does every Friday around 5:20. I love it because Frank is a James Beard award-winning chef. I mean, he's like world-renowned chef, has a restaurant that could be in any major food city in the world, and it would be one of that city's best restaurants, just like it is here in New Orleans. Brigtsen's, like I said, 38 years, almost 4 decades on Dante Street, right off River Road. Great location. Great little spot. No, during the week, city of New Orleans, the mayor, the governor, all kind of nonsense. I love what I do, but it's it's not that it's I enjoy the work part, all of it, but it can be some grinding topics. So Friday's a good just sort of a decompressed day a little bit. Fridays with Fletch, Frank Brigsten. Michael Hecht's going to join us in about 20 minutes, hopefully with some good economic news. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. But Frank Brigsten first, just talking food and crawfish. No, Frank could change my night. Corey, still a little scarce, still a little expensive. All we've got are crawfish cornbread, which I want to get some of that. A little jalapeno and crawfish in the cornbread. Wow. And it's sweet. Wow. No, but he might have the crawfish egg roll, might have the crawfish and corn soup, might have the crawfish etouffee. Crawfish etouffee is one of my favorite dishes in the world. And I would say about 90 something out of 100 of them, I want to have nothing to do with. Tomato-y base, just sort of painfully average, if not bad. Nothing worse than just plowing through just painfully average crawfish etouffee or red beans and rice or jambalaya that's just so average. It's almost like I've got to eat this, because when it's good, it's fantastic. All of those dishes. And crawfish etouffee, I mean, sadly, it's like a lot of things. Where do you get a great hamburger in New Orleans? Most places that serve a hamburger, they're not very good. Nothing memorable. Where do I get a good fried shrimp platter, a good fried shrimp po' boy? Most places that do it, not memorable. People mess up these things that we think are just kind of easier, basic. They totally screw them up. It's mind-blowing. So, no, anyway, crawfish etouffee is one of those. Hey, we got crawfish etouffee. It's a special, just tomato-y and just not very good, A lot of rice, not a lot of substance. I don't know. I don't want to have to plow through that. Frank Brigtsen's is like brown roux-based, little all different size tails because it's Louisiana fresh tails, and it's just really fantastic. It's special. It's like it's supposed to be, not the stuff that's mass-produced all over the place. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday. Mass-produced isn't even a good term. It's just single restaurants doing a very crappy version of crawfish etouffee in a lot of places. Just orangey, tomato-y, lots of white rice. I don't know. I'm like bored even talking about it. Hey, this program every day brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Yeah, you're right. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park. Tomorrow's Saturday. Great car buying day. The Lamarck Automotive Complex, home of the big store, Lamarck Ford, for over 45 years. Number one in the region, Lamarck Lincoln. Number one in the state. The legendary Ford truck dealership for over 8 decades in the metro area, Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway. Now, Lamarck Crescent City Ford. That's right, Ronnie Lamarck, Ronnie Jr., They got the Lamarck Automotive Complex out by the lake in Kennebra. And now Lamarck Crescent City Ford, the Ford truck dealership out by the river in Elmwood on Jefferson Highway. Every day the program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. They got all those commercial trucks, everything you need out there. Plus they service every Ford vehicle. So going out there might be more convenient for you than going out to Canberra. Frank Brigsten, just a few minutes away. Michael Hecht's going to join us in less than 20 minutes from Greater New Orleans Inc. It's unbelievable. Just yesterday, the city council voted to allow Topgolf. They have to jog Annunciation down in this area of a bunch of parking lots. They've got to jog it like 30 feet north for about 150 feet. And a lot of, quote, neighbors, and I don't think it's like the Saleh apartment complex. It's folks that live in like the Lower Garden District, a.k.a. Irish Channel. They're complaining about this Topgolf. This wasn't a part of the original thing. You're kind of fooling us. This is a lie, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I love that neighborhood, but you live right by the river. I mean, you live in an area that's zone light industrial in some parts where there's warehouses and light manufacturing and things of that nature right in your neighborhood. So $1 billion river district, I think's okay.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com. Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know,
It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Since 1940, 84 years of excellence. Young's Dry Cleaning, truly a New Orleans institution. If you're tired of your dry cleaner and want to experience the best, youngsdrycleaning.com. Let's head to the Riverbend, the Carrollton section of Uptown New Orleans, about a block and a half from where St. Charles and Carrollton intersect. We're going right off River Road, a.k.a. Leak Avenue in Orleans Parish. Dante Street, 100-year-old Creole cottage. They've been cooking some of the best food anywhere for about 38 years in that spot. Frank joins us from his restaurant, Brigsten's. What's up, Frank?
Corey Johnson, TGIF.
Thank goodness, huh?
Yeah, it is. What a beautiful Friday it is, too.
I've mentioned this before for you. This is like Wednesday for you. You guys are Tuesday through Saturday. You've knocked out Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday already. But Friday and Saturday, the weekend 2 days, probably equal the other 3 days, sort of, huh?
Yeah, that's right. This is kind of our hump day.
Yep, you're like 50% of the work week done, really, not 2/3, not whatever, 3/5.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's true.
Yep.
That's the life we live.
Yep. 5 p.m. till around 8:30. Tuesday through Saturday night, it's Brightson's in the Riverbend. I'm going to do this in the beginning and again at the end, but I usually don't do it in the beginning. The phone number at Brightson's is 861-7610. So put that in your phone, 861-7610. Any openings tonight or tomorrow night, Frank, or you guys are booked up?
We're pretty booked, but I really don't know. Give Marna a call and she'll help you out.
861-7610. All right, the big question. I'm just going to say the word. Crawfish?
Tough week for crawfish.
Uh-oh.
The market for peeled crawfish tails anyway is really slim right now. There's live out there, but we use peeled crawfish tails in the restaurant, and they've been slim pickings.
Excuse me for a second. All right, I'm back.
Yeah, so we're just waiting.
Yep, I was hoping.
Week for fish too. No speckled trout or flounder available. So
wow,
no Meunier in the menu tonight.
Wow, no pecan.
Wasn't really anything else that I would use for that preparation. So we'll just give it a break.
Yeah, smart.
Good news is sheep's head is still available. It was a little sketchy on that too. When it's really windy, the fishermen can't get out. But we got enough for tonight, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.
And that's going to be the crab crust one?
Yeah, that's the broiled fish with crab crust and lemon crab sauce. Sheep's head.
Which is your favorite fish?
It is. I love it.
Yep. What else is happening? I know got the barbecue shrimp's got to be off the charts right now.
Ponchatoula strawberries. That's what's happening. Goodness, nice. These are so pretty. I buy these from my friend Miss Heather at John Dale Farm, and these strawberries are the best I've ever seen. So we're doing a tres leches cake with strawberry halves, strawberry sauce, and chocolate whipped cream.
Wow.
And these berries are huge, and they're totally red all the way through. There's probably 8 to the pint. That's how big they are. And so we're going to run that as long as it lasts. Usually to the end of April is when strawberry season ends.
When you say red all the way through, none of that like white in the middle?
No.
Wow.
Barely.
No, and they're like bleeding almost, huh?
Yeah, they're like 98% edible.
Wow. Unbelievable. Gotta love it. Yep. The strawberries.
That's what you should be enjoying right now. Boiled crawfish is out there. Get some of that too, but hopefully the peeled market will get a little better as we go along. Hopefully.
Hey, back to chicken and andouille gumbo, right?
Yes. I'm so grateful because I'm allergic to shrimp. I can't eat seafood gumbo. So I've been eating chicken andouille gumbo all week long. And let me tell you, last night, goodness, we sold more gumbo. 75% of our guests had gumbo either for an appetizer or an entree. A few people just got a bowl of gumbo for dinner. It was gumbo day. So we're real happy about that.
Yep, that's a great.
Chef Nick is rocking it on the gumbo. Made another batch today.
Yeah, that's a great dish. It really is. It's tough.
Can't get enough of it. Never get tired of it.
Nope.
We've also been getting a lot of orders for side orders of dirty rice, and I ate that myself all last night too. I was expediting, and the dirty rice is right there. So every time I mix some, there was a little extra. I would eat that. So. That's also a really great thing. And that's with our roast duck with dirty rice and a tart dried cherry sauce.
What makes up the dirty part of the rice?
We use ground beef and duck livers.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's the duck liver do with the ground beef? What's the flavor?
Well, you got to have liver in your dirty rice. And classic dirty rice is really made with giblets, chicken gizzards and livers. But the gizzards are so hard to work with. So I left that behind years ago. So I use ground beef, really, really browned hard in duck fat to where it's almost crispy. And then I add my onion, celery, bell peppers, garlic seasoning, brown that in the oven for a while. And then towards the end, I add pureed duck livers, which we have on hand. And that's my dirty rice mix. And then what we do at Brigsten's is we hold that meat mixture in the steam table. And when you order a duck, we mix the dirty rice fresh to order.
Wow.
So it doesn't get all mushy.
Wow. So smart.
It's about half meat mixture, half rice. And I add some parsley and green onions as well. And it's fabulous.
Hey, speaking of meat, filet, pork chop, veal.
Oh, yeah. We changed our pork chop this week. We had been doing that one with apple cider pan gravy, which was knockout good. But with the warmer weather, I wanted to change it up a little bit. So now we're doing pan roasted pork chop with sauteed spinach and a Creole mustard sauce, which is Creole mustard, sour cream, and then I add a little bit of demi-glace to it.
Frank Brigtsen's with us from his restaurant in the Riverbend. The phone number over there is 861-7610, 861-7610. Veal still rolling?
Oh, yeah. We're still rocking our veal dish, sauteed veal with oysters and a brie red peppercorn sauce. The oysters are really, really good right now. Nice size, really, really flavorful, not milky at all. And also I would take a minute to recommend to people, if you want to get out and dine at Brigsten's or anywhere for Jazz Fest, call now. That's the busiest time of year in the city, and those reservations go quick.
Yep.
So make your plans for French Quarter Fest, Jazz Fest, graduations. All those big events are coming up. It's the busiest time of year for all of us. So try and plan ahead so you don't get shut out.
3 weeks from today, it'll be day 2 of Jazz Fest. It'll be second round of the Zurich Classic. No, it's coming quick.
Save me a spot up front for the Stones.
Got you front and center. Mick and the boys will be hanging out at my house as usual. Oh, boy.
There probably won't be any fights involved. People jockeying for position.
Hey, Frank, less than a week, this Thursday, French Quarter Fest. And that's kind of interesting. Jazz Fest is like, I don't know. How would I say it? Jazz Fest is like Cooks. It's like, and there's chefs involved, don't get me wrong, but Jazz Fest is more like Cooks. It's like fair food, but with New Orleans flavor, of course. I mean,
yeah.
And French Quarter Fest is more chef-driven food, I would say. It's different.
It's true. I don't know if they still do it, but I remember for many years, you could go to, Royal and Conti and get Antoine's Baked Alaska. How great is that?
Wow.
Baked Alaska in the street, man. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of really fine restaurants that participate in French Quarter Fest. And the walk around experience of it, I think, is really wonderful. You get a real sense of the city and literally the festive atmosphere that pervades this city, and highly recommend that.
Well, you know what I thought was pretty interesting? I don't know who came up with this. I'm sure you can fill us in on different versions of this. Dickie Brennan does like a debris roast beef po' boy, and it's pretty genius, Frankie. He takes the end of the bread and hollows it out, and then he sort of just dumps the debris into that. So you just eat down towards the end, and it's not spilling all over your hands and dripping all over. It's sort of a contained roast beef po' boy, if that's possible. I thought that was a pretty genius idea. I know that, what was it, the old Italian joint in Metairie that used to do the bread bowl with the crab bisque or something.
Oh, yeah, Vincent.
Yeah, the bowls made out of the round bread thing. Those are pretty good ideas, I think, in some applications.
I think that's genius, and it's a great way to eat. We used to do oyster po' boys like that at K. Paul's in the early days of the grocery.
That's
upstairs.
smart.
We would hollow out the loaf and stuff it with melted butter and the oysters. But where the first place I've ever seen anything like that was at Acme Oyster Bar. They did a sandwich called, I think they call it a poobah. And it was hollowed out French bread with gumbo in there.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think they call it the poobah.
That's pretty smart. I kind of like that.
Yeah, smart.
Damn.
Dickie's a smart guy. He does everything right.
Wow. That sounds pretty good. Anything we're missing, Frank?
That's it, my friend. Get out and enjoy this beautiful weekend. Go to a museum. Go to the park, City Park, Botanical Garden, Audubon Park. Go out to eat, have fun, enjoy yourselves this weekend. We love you, New Orleans. Love you too, Corey.
Yeah, you're right. Right back at you, Frank. Thanks so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
That's Frank Brigsten joining us on the program, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. The phone number at Brigtsen's, 861-7610. 861-7610. Put that in your phone. That's Brigtsen's. Even when they're booked up, call I say this all the time. You got your little neighborhood joint, your go-to place. You don't have to get a reservation. You can go anytime. You go all the time. You like it. It's easy. If you got that lined up for dinner on a Friday, Saturday night, Thursday night, whenever, call Brigtsen's 20 minutes, 15 minutes before you're walking out the door to go to the neighborhood joint. And just see if they got a table available, or maybe someone canceled their reservation, which happens all the time. Hey, if you can get here in 15 minutes, we can take care of you. Boom. You head to Brigtsen. So what do you have to lose? Nothing. You're going to the neighborhood joint already. Definitely. Call Brigtsen's and see if there's an opening. If there is, you can save the neighborhood joint for another night and go enjoy Brigtsen's. So good. Brigtsen's in the River Bend. I like Fridays, just the decompression of getting Frank Brigsten on and talking food, stuff we love. Hopefully some good economic news coming up next. Michael Hecht's going to join us from Greater New Orleans Inc. That segment's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, and they're hiring. a culture of innovation at Latrim, and they're looking for you. Dozens and dozens and dozens of job opportunities at their website, Latrim.com. Latrim spelled Laitram, for a full listing of positions available. Go to Latrim.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you. The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
That's what I said. That's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
It's crawfish season. That means Rouse's Markets. You want to boil them yourself? Throwing a party for you and your friends, 10 of you, 50 of you, 100 of you. Live crawfish by the sack, Rouse's Markets. You just want to eat those crawfish, hot from the pot, ready to eat? Hot from the pot, boiled crawfish, Rouse's Market, best quality, best price, best selection. It's crawfish season. Rouse's Markets. Corey Johnson with you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Absolutely gorgeous weather. Get out there and enjoy it. Hey, Michael Hecht back with us again. This segment always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. How you doing, Michael?
Doing great, Corey. This is that time of the year where it all makes sense. I'm broadcasting to you from the 13th floor of the Virgin Hotel, looking out over the sprawling metropolis of New Orleans, and it looks pretty good. I'm looking at the Hair Bonnet on Plaza Tower, looking at the Freedom Pavilion, looking over at the River District, which got approved today. You know?
Yeah, Top Golf yesterday, that vote to allow that to happen. Annunciation, maybe 150 feet of it, having to jog a few feet towards the east. Not a big deal. What's sad, Michael, this thing's announced like 3+ years ago, probably 4 years ago, and not a piling driven in the ground. And the city council had to actually vote on a $50 million part of it yesterday, just this late in the game. It just, I don't know, man. It's just, sometimes it's tough being a New Orleanian.
Yeah, we make it hard on ourselves. We really do. I was talking to a guy who has a nonprofit that puts in fitness parks, and there's one like over on the Greenway here. And they're a great nonprofit. They've put parks in all 50 states in the United States, fitness parks. People can go and exercise and do things that are good for themselves. And I asked him, I said, where is the most difficult place in the United States for you to operate and put in a park? And he said, New Orleans, where we're headquartered.
Wow. Where we're headquartered.
It's really a culture that we have to understand that, investment's going to flow like water. And if you put up dams, it's going to flow somewhere else.
Yep. No, that's exactly right. And we love putting up dams either directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously. That's what we're best at, dam building. Anyway, the hurdle has been overcome. They should be driving pilings. They want to open next year, right?
Yeah. And, I think that's probably a pretty simple thing to get going. And the important part about that is not the top golf itself, but that it's the linchpin for getting that development going. And that development, it's not just that it's one of the most exciting new neighborhoods in the country. It's that the rest of the country was watching us. We have a Texas investor developer. And if we scuttled that, it would have been very difficult for us to sell future products. I'm sitting here with our head of business development, Josh Flegg, and we were talking about it. And if this thing goes sideways, we get redlined by everybody else for about 10 years. So the fact that we're going forward, even lugubriously, is really important. So I'm pleased. I'm happy. Shouldn't have been this hard, but we got it done.
And that competitor 504 Golf, they're kind of well on their way. They'd like to open up before the Super Bowl. Michael, it's funny, some folks that think about the golf aspect, they're like, why these two things? It's like golf's almost like the incidental at these places. It's like a triple-decker sports bar, restaurant, entertainment complex, and there's a driving range right there. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it.
They're gorgeous. They're they kind of got that Trader Joe's type of zhuzh to it. They attract people. They kind of make a place seem real. So it's a big deal, and let them both compete. I think they'll both do fine. I mean, I don't understand the business model, but it's hard to imagine that we can't support a couple of these places. And yeah, it's just the River District is land that's laid fallow for decades.
Yep.
It's some of the most valuable land in the country, and we need it for housing. We need it for invigorating the city. So I'm all for it. And then, there's some other people that came at us. They were like, "Oh man, I can't believe you're pulling Shell out of the Whitney Hancock building and they're going over there." I'm like, guys, you don't understand. There were exactly two choices: Shell at the River District or Shell in Houston. That's it. That's it. There is no other choice. There is no status quo. So, this is vastly preferable. And yeah, Poydras Street's going to be challenged. Like a lot of downtown streets are going to be challenged. But keeping Shell is a big deal in terms of jobs and prestige. So I'm glad we're taking a step towards that.
Hey, Michael, it's kind of ironical in a way. The Top Golf is sort of the first mover anchoring this River District thing to start, at least. And the 504 Golf, it's not like said publicly, but I think they're going to be leading the way for a new neighborhood. I think you're going to see lofts and apartments and things of that nature in and around that Bridge House, Earhart, Broad, Old Times Picayune area. That's just it's light industrial right now. There already are some artist loft types of things. So I think this could anchor that, light up that area, better access to that area, and grow that as a neighborhood where young people would live.
No, I agree. It kind of reminds me of the area in Brooklyn called Dumbo, which means down under the Manhattan Bridge overpass. And like, it's an ugly area, at the beginning, but they kind of juiced it up and they put some anchors in there. And now it's like, entirely populated, expensive real estate. So I agree. It's a weird area around the Times Picayune old building. It's kind of like near everything and next to nothing.
Yep.
So it requires enough attraction and density to get people so they can go there and stay there. And I agree. I think this is an important first step. So I support both projects.
Yep. No, me too. And I think they're different. I think the Times Picayune will be more locals. And I think the one down on the river will be like locals and a lot of tourists and conventioneers and stuff.
Exactly. So
anyway,
we're good on this. We shouldn't be fighting people who want to invest in our community. It's just we can't afford that. I was talking about Texas to somebody, and they were complaining about how it's difficult to get attention trying to locate in Houston. And I said, that's because Houston is suffering from winning. I mean, they've just done so well over the past 20 years that they don't need it. Dallas added 418 people every day last year. Every day.
Yep, that was the largest growing city in America. They added a Kenner. They added about 165,000 people last year. Dallas now has over 8 million in the metro. Dallas, Fort Worth, over 8 million. Chicago's about 8.9. They have no growth. In about 4 to 6 years, Dallas will be the third largest metropolitan area in the country after LA and New York. Chicago will fall to 4. Here's what's scary, Michael. Houston now is north of 7.5 million. In about a decade, they'll pass Chicago.
Yeah, and look, these things come and go. I mean, I was in Houston a couple of weeks ago, and at least I was in the downtown part of it, and it's an aggressively bland place.
Yep.
I mean, they've got 2 colors you're allowed to build in. They're brown and tan. They don't really even attempt to try to make it beautiful. There's a thing called Discovery Park, which is if you squint, it's a moment of respite, but it's all about business. All of the amenities are underground, and that has a lifespan to it as well. It's not a place that you really want to be, but right now it's got the right combination of opportunity and affordability, and so people are going there because the middle class of America needs those two things.
No, you're right. But yeah, painfully generic and boring and no culture. But yeah, just a lot of money. I don't know. You triple, quadruple my salary. You pull like LIV golf or something. I'd live in Omaha, Nebraska, Michael, for a few years. You know.
Right. Actually, Omaha is pretty nice. Actually, my understanding.
Wow.
You know, you go to these places like Omaha, or like I was in Bentonville recently. And Bentonville is Walmart money, and you kind of think Northwest Arkansas is the middle of nowhere, but you've got a gorgeous museum, you've got nice restaurants, you've got the largest series of biking trails in the country. And Walmart mandates that every supplier they work with has to set up an office there. So they've created a new company town, and there are a lot of reasons to be there.
Every supplier has to set up an office in Bentonville?
Dude, Walmart does not mess around.
Like with like a physical presence at the office and renting space?
They have to hang a shingle. That's part of the deal.
So is it called Chinatown now, Bentonville?
What's that?
Is it called Chinatown now? I mean,
it is. I don't think they're doing manufacturing there. I think it's just, these are white collar jobs. And, if you're, Under Armour, you're going to have an Under Armour office in Bentonville.
Wow.
And you're not going to be making the stuff that's happening, exactly over in China. But you've got, 50 people there, all making six figures.
Wow. Brilliant. Smart. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Anything on the horizon, Michael? Some singles, doubles, anything going on out there?
I'm gonna put our head of business development, Josh Flegel, on tell you about our business development pipeline. Hold on, do you take guests on this show?
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay, Josh is a long-time listener, first-time caller. Hello, Corey.
Hey, Josh, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Hey, I was asking Michael, we use baseball terminology. A single might be, 5 to 20 jobs or something. A double might be somewhere like 50. A triple might be 75 or north of 100. A home run's like, say, 500 jobs. And a grand slam might be something insane like 1,000 plus. Anything on the horizon out there that you can give us a little info on? Maybe a single, a double, a triple, anything out there that you guys might be announcing soon?
Yep. Listen, I love the rundown of the analogy. I'm going grand slam all the way. The opportunity in all things future energy is endless. It's our future in Louisiana to capture all of the investment that's going into everything future energy from across the globe. We know how to make it here. We know how to produce it. We know how to export it. So the opportunity is in the tens of thousands of jobs and the tens of billions of dollars. So I'd say, we need to create a new sports analogy that's, I don't know what's beyond a grand slam in baseball, nothing, but we need to come up with it.
Yeah, maybe grand slam during the World Series, Game 7.
Right. Game 7 grand slam, World Series. But that's our opportunity, right? I think we have to be completely aligned at every level to bring that home. It's existential. It's huge, Corey.
If you guys have everything, all your what together, and you're out pitching this, and the people are buying it, what does Louisiana look like over the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years? Like, what kind of things would we see popping up? What kind of jobs? What would they be doing? Yep. That type of thing.
Yep. I'd say twofold. More jobs in production. We know how to do production. We know how to make stuff. So let's make more stuff cleaner, lower carbon here in South Louisiana today. The second side of that, though, is we need the knowledge base. We need headquarter jobs. We need office jobs that run that world as well. So we need to make decisions from Louisiana. What we don't want to do is remain a production hub only. It's important. It's good jobs, a lot of investment. But we need to make sure that we control our own destiny by making those decisions of investments and jobs from our borders. That's key.
What kind of companies are you going to be trying to lure in, and what would they be doing?
Yeah, so I think it's all in. to the majors that we all know, right? Your Shells, your Exxons, your Chevrons, all those guys are spending a lot of money in this world. We want to capture that spend here. We want to make sure it's not going to Texas. That's step one. Step two is all the people that are innovating. They're building new technology, new methods, new processes for decarbonizing energy. We want them here. So we need to make sure that they understand the value that we can bring to their organization. They can invest here, they can create jobs here, and they can make decisions and spend money from here, which is also key.
Hey, Josh, what else is happening out there economy-wise? Anything outside of what you were just discussing?
Yeah, look, I think we're going to continue to push on all things knowledge-based. Right? Technology, we're going to continue to push on entertainment, music, film, interactive, games. We're growing in all those worlds. We know how to do it. We have the talent here. So let's keep pushing on all those industries as well.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Hey, Josh, a pleasure, man. I'm glad Michael passed the phone on over.
Great timing.
Yep.
Take care, Corey.
All right, Josh. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
That's Josh from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Is that Michael Hecht rejoining us? Maybe not.
Oh, hello, hey, Corey.
Oh, you're still there? Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, Matt. Josh was like, he's done with you. Like he's heard the truth. There's no more need for you.
No, we're moving on. No, Josh had some good. I like all that. Capturing, pun intended, capturing all this new future energy. That these jobs, where it's going, this green energy.
Yeah, no, it's really it's a $5 trillion opportunity globally. And to give you, I have no idea what a trillion is, but to give you a sense, let me ask you a question, Corey, because you're a smart guy, you're broad. How many days is a million seconds?
How many days is a million seconds?
Yeah.
What does I'm smart have to do with that?
It's 11 days. How many days is a billion seconds? Josh said 111 days. He's an idiot.
Yeah, no, it would be 1,000 times that.
So I have no idea what a trillion is, but it's many, many, many lifetimes.
Oh, yeah. No, I got you. You sound like when I'm talking about man on the planet or dinosaurs, I'm like, man's been on the planet $200,000. Dinosaurs, $65 million. I'm like, see the difference in the dollars? Because years don't seem 200 million years, 65 million years. People are like, what? You say 200 grand and 65 million, they know the difference.
If you could pick one game show to be on, what would you pick on? What would it be? Would it be Jeopardy? Would it be like
one game show?
Family Feud,
Hollywood Squares. I'd want to be one of the Hollywood Squares.
You'd be great in the Hollywood Squares. You'd make like the slightly ironic off-color jokes.
Maybe let's make a deal. I want what's behind curtain number 2, Monty.
You would always go for that. My favorite was what was it? Was it the wedding show, the dating show? What was it?
The dating game.
The dating game, like what was the weird one? Like, what's the strangest place you've ever made whoopee?
Yeah. You don't need to finish up that one either. By the way, that literally came on. It was me, my former grandmother-in-law, watching that alone, and that type of question came up on the dating game, and I kept wiggling my nose like Genie, but I did not disappear. It was a bummer. Anyway, Michael, always a pleasure, brother.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Enjoy this weekend. For tomorrow, we sweat.
Yep. No, it's coming soon. Tell Josh thank you as well.
I sure will. He appreciates being on the show.
That's Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Joining us. We do it every Friday. A little economic news from the crew over at Greater New Orleans, Inc. Now, I love getting those guys on just because that's what it's all about. I mean, when you think about New Orleans, it's getting that violent crime down. It's investing in our infrastructure. It's investing in education. And it's the economy. Those are the big four that jump out. Speaking of New Orleans and our economy, Leidenheimer Baking Company since 1896. Are you kidding me? They've been baking that Leidenheimer French bread you love for over 125 years. The official French bread of New Orleans. Enjoy some over the weekend. It's almost like by default, if you're going to enjoy an authentic New Orleans po' boy, it'll be on Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer French bread, Leidenheimer Baking Company. Blue Boy, that Leidenheimer got you excited, huh, buddy? You know how good it is. What? Heat it up and put some butter on it? Boy, I hear you, Blue Boy. Hey, Corporal, thank you. Thank you for watching and listening. Monday. See you then.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.